one thing that you cannot argue with if you take just some time. Just take some time. If you zoom out on an altcoin chart or zoomed out on a Cardano chart, if you just zoom out and you look at cycles and then you look at Bitcoin halvings and you look at previous cycle data going back multiple cycles, there's this one thing you cannot argue with. Crypto right now is not only on track, but it is ahead of schedule. And I just want to say this right from the beginning. Everything that I'm saying is data-based. Everything I'm saying, I've been saying. Altcoin season, though we would love to see it happen sooner than every other cycle, altcoin season, in my opinion, is not here yet. I'm going to just break down the data in terms of Cardano, break down where I think we are with cycles, hit the subscribe, hit the like. Let's jump into the video. I don't know how else to put it. I realize, even in a bear market, through all of this mess with the ADA charts, doing ADA videos and Bitcoin videos all of the time, I realize that I'm pretty much a perma bull. I mean, we're falling in price, right? And I'm still bullish on crypto. And I realize that doesn't sit right with a lot of people, because how can I be bullish in an environment where we're falling, right? And it's very simply because I'm understanding, always in the back of my head, cycles and how it does take a while to get through bear markets, and it does take a while to enter into bull markets and break all-time highs, but it's that longer-term picture that excites me. That really is part of my plan. So with Cardano, this is the case. And I want to just very briefly in this video show you, and then I'm going to dive into the short-term ADA charts. We're going to talk about price action on the short term, what's going on. But I want to show you from a macro perspective why Cardano and other altcoins, I'll take a glance at Ethereum, I'll take a glance at Matic. We're on schedule right now. And there's nothing out of the ordinary or bearish happening that I see from a data perspective. So let's just do this. The first thing I want to do, I think this kind of inspired me to do this video. I just posted the Cardano journey to $1 and above begins soon. And somebody commented, it says it's beginning for at least 3 years, but never seems to start. I think they're kind of insinuating that I have been saying that the bull market is starting for the last 3 years. And then sometimes it's better not to create such high expectations. And then this person said, same, I feel you on this. We've been told it's happening soon, but the only thing happening soon is bearish patterns. And here's the thing, everybody. I don't know, maybe they don't watch my content. And yeah, when we're exiting a bear market or we're putting in a bottom, for me, we are getting very close to the bull cycle. But along that journey of tracking this data, maybe using words like soon, we're getting there, this Bitcoin halving has always and will always be the foundation to the cycles that I cover in terms of technical analysis. And with that being said, I've been showing this chart, specifically the Bitcoin dominance chart. I've been showing this to really just very helpfully illustrate the altcoin season. If you look at the Bitcoin halving right here, and then we look at previous cycles, here's last cycle, 2020 Bitcoin halving. Altcoin season is over here in this green box. So I put it up here, 224 days after Bitcoin halving. That is when altcoin season started. That is when, if you're an altcoin holder, you really started seeing some gains and you really were enjoying the bull cycle. But that vibe and that part of the cycle, I truly think people have been so spoiled with how we've exited this previous bear market. People are just assuming that we should be in that environment right now. And I'm telling you, and this is why I say I think people have been very spoiled. We're not there yet, right? And if you look at the cycle before that in 2016 Bitcoin halving, check out Bitcoin dominance falling. Look at this, 224 days after the Bitcoin halving. Here we are, the Bitcoin halving just started, and it seems like everybody's so antsy. Everybody wants to be like 224 days past Bitcoin halving gains, right? Everybody wants to see Bitcoin dominance falling right now, altcoin season popping off, but 224 days is typically when that has happened. I'm not sitting here saying it's going to be 224 days until altcoin season. And I want to talk about that. So if we go and we look at the Bitcoin weekly chart, one thing has happened. Bitcoin truly did exit the bear market like crazy, right? Breaking all-time highs before the Bitcoin halving. This is the first time it's ever happened. Breaking this bull market door indicator before the halving. That is the first time it's ever happened. You can see back here, this is Bitcoin breaking those bull market doors well after the Bitcoin halving. So there's a case to say that markets are moving in a little bit of a different type of way, and altcoin season therefore could maybe happen earlier, happen sooner. But if we go look at an ADA chart, for instance, right, there's a lot of people that are just incredibly frustrated. And I'm not going to sit here and say I'm not frustrated with it. I would absolutely enjoy, now that Bitcoin has broken all-time highs, I would enjoy altcoins to do the same. I really would. But at the same time, I do have to zoom out on the data and just look at, very simply, okay, last cycle at this time, meaning from all-time high in 2018 to the Bitcoin halving area, ADA was still down around 94%. We're right there right now. So if we look at ADA right now from all-time high, ADA from all-time high to Bitcoin halving, now a couple weeks past Bitcoin halving, ADA is down 85%. So we're actually better off this cycle around than we were last time. So how could anybody that's just looking at this very simple data just sit here and be like, this is ridiculous, this is taking too long, when in reality, we're actually ahead of schedule in a way, and we're better off than we were last cycle. ADA was in a worse position last cycle, and it took, again, 224 days from the Bitcoin halving right here, and there's 224 days for altcoin season to begin, and for ADA really to truly just make that breakout towards its all-time high and do some crazy things. 224 days. Now, if you remember in previous analysis, because markets have been moving in a little bit of a different fashion, we were very much taking this move all the way back here with ADA into the Shelley hard fork, right? And then coming to consolidating, and then Bitcoin breaking the bull market doors right around here. We were taking that move and the structure that happened then, and we were kind of like, you know what if this is playing out again? And that's why we were looking right here for this potential move, right? If we were going to get this early bull market, early altcoin market move type of deal, we were tracking it. And it all was really hinged on this pattern that you see here, a rising wedge. It would have just seen ADA break to the upside. We didn't get an early altcoin season. That's all that says to me. That doesn't mean, I think, and this is me, I could be completely wrong, right? This is just me tracking cycles, tracking the data, waiting for the bull cycle. But that doesn't mean it's the start of like a bear market. It just means ADA's consolidating right now around Bitcoin halving in a very similar fashion that it did back then. Does that mean we're about to get a very similar pump just after the Bitcoin halving? Maybe, maybe not. But this is exactly why I sit here and I track ADA charts and kind of structure and what's going on. What can we anticipate before we get a move to the upside? That's what this has to do with, right? This is the daily chart, daily structure on ADA. You go to Ethereum, it's the same exact story. And what's cool about Ethereum, I talked about this, I think, in last night's video. Post-halving in 2016, Ethereum fell. And here's 224 days after all of that ugly consolidation. I'm sure people saying it's the beginning of a bear market, it's going to be so bad. All of a sudden, 224 days later, Ethereum absolutely took off. And it's nice to see an altcoin like Ethereum a couple cycles ago just kind of failing after Bitcoin halving on the ETH chart. And then last cycle, it was just very sideways after halving. But you can just see, if we look at it, 224 days after Bitcoin halving, check it out. You can see there's Ethereum just taking off towards all-time highs. That data is insane. 200 some days after Bitcoin halving historically. And look where Ethereum is right now. It is just chilling. It's just Bitcoin halving just happened on this Ethereum chart. Maybe it'll be 224 days again before Ethereum approaches all-time highs. Maybe there's going to be downside for Ethereum, Cardano, and altcoins in general, right? Just like we saw on the Ethereum chart all the way back here in 2016. Maybe there's going to be downside. But then what happens next, right? That would be a similar story playing out. And then we go look at something like Matic. Matic is one of the altcoins that hasn't moved. It's just kind of sideways right now. What's going to happen in this era after Bitcoin halving when altcoin season happens? Assuming it happens, I don't want to sit here and guarantee that it's going to happen. No, none of us know, right? This cycle could do something that it's never done. I realize that. I accept that. But when we have all of this data saying, you know what, consolidation right now, altcoins not exploding to new all-time highs at this part of the cycle is actually the normal thing. It's the normal thing. I really don't know why people are out there expecting that altcoins should be all breaking all-time highs right now and everything's underperforming. ADA is just underperforming right now because it's not. Because ADA is exactly doing what it did last cycle, if not a little bit better right now. So ADA on the short term, let's just do some analysis. And I'm not trying to throw hopium or copium out there. I say that often because I realize as I'm discussing this, it's what it kind of looks like, right? Like, because everybody is expecting just a way different bullish environment. And I'm sitting here saying, no, it's just normal that it's not happening. But it really is. It's data driven. If the data starts diverging in a bearish way from these cycles, I will talk about it, and I'll just simply be here. I'll just probably be here like, I don't know, man. At this point, I don't know. This is not looking good. I'll say that. But right now, it's looking just normal. So here we are with the structure on ADA. This is ADA. We had the move in this rising wedge. We absolutely would have enjoyed the early altcoin market, right? Just altcoin bull market, breaking that upper trend line. We broke to the downside. And there's a case where it doesn't hit the target. It's in the lower 30s. That's the target. There's a case where we just kind of consolidate here. Maybe ADA's trying to bottom out here, putting in a higher low from this swing low, higher low, and then we're kind of moving to the upside. We have to contend still with the 20, the 200, and the 50-day moving average, right? There could be resistance, and we could just continue falling. This could be kind of really drawn out, this consolidation. But I go back to the weekly, and I'm like, all right, well, we just have to watch it, right? Zoomed out in the weekly. This is what it could look like. It could look like a really ugly throwback to the structure we broke out of the bear market. Pouring outside right now. And what does that look like? Probably an environment where altcoins are crazy oversold. Bears will be tired at that point. And then where will we be? Somewhere maybe in the range of over 200 days or not even 200 days post Bitcoin halving. And then maybe it's time for upside. Maybe that upside happens sooner. Maybe we get the move of support on the 50-week moving average here. It's right around 41 cents. I don't know. We're gonna track to see how this weekly candle closes. There's 5 days, 2 hours left of the weekly, but really that's the area. Maybe ADA doesn't even make its way to the target, and we get a pullback, right? Just a nice pullback to that pattern, and then we start talking about higher highs, higher lows, breaking just bullish confirmation areas like that 200-week moving average, 72 cents. It sounds crazy, but you'd be very surprised how quickly these markets can turn around. How quickly, and I've seen it time and time again, it can go from fear to greed. And people's sentiment and the emotion in these markets, it's just like that. All you need is a little bit of upside, a 5% move even. Wow. 5% move even, and guess what? We have, that thunder's crazy. We have all of a sudden sentiment turning to bullish, right? I zoom out. I kind of put aside the emotion of it all, sentiment even. It's good to evaluate and understand where we are from those perspectives, but I like to just watch the data. And the data is saying cycles they're on pace right now. There might be some downside, right? We saw Ethereum did it all the way back here. 2016 into 2017 before going higher. We might be in that type of environment. I'm just sitting here. I'm waiting with the rest of you to see what happens next. None of us know what's going to happen next. This is just me tracking the charts, tracking the way I see it. And it does take a while. If you zoom out on a chart, it takes a while to get the bull. And if you look at it in the grand scheme of things, waiting all of that time it takes way longer to wait and go through that pain and learn the patience of it all to enjoy the bull market. Go to a Bitcoin dominance chart. I don't think we're there yet, but I think it's approaching. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, everybody. I just want to do this zoomed out video with a little short-term analysis as well. Hit the subscribe, hit the like. I hope you're doing well out there. God bless.